Yo, what's up, y'all? So, it's been a minute since I've been on this page, so I want to kind of give y'all a brief update on life and real estate. So, y'all, I just showed this good property right here. It's one of those properties that need a little bit of work, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. But it's a lot of space, a lot of very huge shed, as well as a yard and whatever, and as well as a bin and things like that. This is about like a 3-acre backyard altogether. It's a pretty nice property. Then of course you have pretty much pretty good neighborhood, pretty quiet neighborhood, pretty good. This is in the Blue Angel area. If you know. If you're like local in Pensacola, Florida. But I didn't want to give y'all life and real estate. As many of you know, the market is doing really good right now. That's what I say. The market is doing really good right now. Pensacola, it's a super sellers market. So, with a super sellers market, things are flying off the market super duper fast and crazy. A house can go up today, be gone tomorrow. House can go up in 1 hour and be gone by the end of the day. A few of my deals in the recent past weeks, I've submitted them. I've showed them and submitted a contract, submitted an offer, and the same day it came up. In this type of market, I don't waste no time. But as far as real estate life has been pretty good for me. As far as this super sellers market goes, I'm never truly really disappointed. One of the things that I will tell anybody who does listen to any of these lives, I'm gonna start going live on this page more, specifically my real estate page. I'm also gonna upload this as a podcast. But one of the things I do want to say, in this market, if you're interested in buying, because I mainly work with buyers, if you're interested in buying a home or anything, make sure you have your stuff together. During this period, during this time of real estate, during this time in the world, and for Pensacola, this particular area or anywhere, make sure you have your stuff in order. When it comes to having credit, make sure your credit score is in line. That's the number one thing. Make sure that credit score is in line. I try to say, make sure your credit score is at least over 650. 650, you qualify for the bare minimum. And working with me, my team, the DIMS team, we'll hook you up. We're really gonna hook you up. If you don't have a lender or anything like that, we'll try to hook you up with the best lender. Whether you're doing a VA, FHA, conventional, 203, FHA renovation loan, we bound to pretty much do whatever, hook you up with whatever. But number one thing is definitely make sure your credit is in order. And if you think you're ready and your credit's pretty good, make sure you don't have a huge debt that's huge or anything like that will kind of prevent you from getting in the motion to actually buying a property or whatever. Another thing I did want to kind of touch on was along with making sure your credit is good, I want to cause and all of these are things that I've seen other people have to deal with that's prolonged them in the process of buying a house. Make sure your credit is good. Try to already have in your head what you want, because when you're in a market like this, it's kind of makes things harder for you and myself if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you want, regardless of what your price range is or what your loan amount is. Have some idea of what you want, because if you have some idea of what you want, it will, for one, it will help me out but it's also help yourself out, because you know it might be 60 different houses on the market active that is in your criteria. But at the end of the day, 9 out of 10, an average person, an average family who's just looking for a place to call home or anything like that, they only need one home out of that 60. So, you know, in a market like this, you know, it's very competitive, very active, make sure that you know what you want. That way, you know, when we see something, you're not wasting your time. Not only my time, but your time. Because, you know, when it comes like the clients is one of the most important things in real estate. I really highly appreciate my buyers. But one of the things I say is also is that make sure that you guys are saving. So if you, perfect example, if you are thinking about buying a house next year per se, make sure you guys are saving for that. A lot of people, you know, think they can, you know, just have good credit, and not have no cash, and just, you know, see if they can buy a house. But a lot of people are not wary of those closing costs and down payments, which are pretty hefty amounts. Not everybody qualifies for assistance, and even if you do have assistance, there also might be some things that you have to pay. So just keep in mind that, like, you know, and even do your own research in regards to, you know, preparing yourself for paying closing. Because, you know, when you're in a market like this, one of the things that I was telling one of my clients this earlier today is when you're in a market like this, it's very rare that these sellers are going to pay your closing costs. That's just, you know, not the market that we're in. Because, you know, if people are bidding on a property and you're asking for somebody to pay your closing costs, which are your closing costs, and somebody else is just putting in the offer, and they're not asking for anything, of course they're gonna go with that offer. Because why spend money that you don't have to spend? You know, that's one of the things I say. But another thing, going back to that, be sure to save. Even if you have a saved amount of, you know, or you have a good idea of what your closing costs and your down payment is going to be, save a little bit extra. Because another thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people, they were not prepared for things such as, okay, I saved up for my closing and down payment, but when I pay this, I'm gonna be bankrupt. I'm gonna be broke. Starting over. So along with you know, you saving for your down payment, saving up for your down payment, saving up for your closing costs, even saving up for repairs that might have to be done or renovation that might have to be done. Make sure you're saving a little bit more. That way, when you do make that payment at closing, that you're not completely, you know, out of money. You're having to start over. Because, you know, we've all been there, you know. Starting at zero, you know, you have a whole savings account full of money, and starting all the way back from zero is hard for a lot of people, especially for a lot of people who have ongoing bills, ongoing car notes, they're financing 5 different credit cards and things like that. You know, maxing out your bank account or whatever is not necessarily what a lot of people want to do. You know, that puts them in a tough spot, you know. And that's where, and that also ties into, you know, that's what begins having people start living paycheck to paycheck. You know, and a little bit about myself is like, you know, one thing, no matter what's going on with me, I'm never living paycheck to paycheck. So I will act broke before I live paycheck to paycheck. So if I know I don't have no income coming in, or, you know, income's very scarce, I'm not spending nothing. I'm broke. I'm dead broke. I can't afford nothing. But Yeah, definitely make sure your credit's right. And if you're financing. Now, if you're not financing, and you're paying cash, make sure you guys can actually account for where that cash came from if people start asking questions. If you're paying cash, that's cool. Or even if you're financing, but you're also putting a large, significant amount down, make sure you guys can account for that cash. That will help and save you guys in the long run, most definitely. Make sure you guys also make sure big thing. Make sure you guys have been paying your taxes. When it comes to getting real estate, especially if you're going to be financing and things like that, if you're doing any type of financing and you're trying to buy a home or anything like that, going the traditional way as most people do, make sure you have your information correct. Make sure you've been paying your taxes. Make sure you paid off any debts that were owed. Make sure your name was not on this deed from 5 or 6 years ago. A big one that I'm going to touch on is in the state of Florida, making sure you guys are divorced from people who you don't want to be legally married to anymore. Because in the state of Florida, if you obtain any property, whether you guys are separated or not, your husband or your wife's name still has to go on that deed, whether you are separated or not. You guys have to be legally divorced. So that's a big thing. So if you're going through it or you're beefing with your significant other or ex-significant other or whatever like that, to the point to where y'all can't talk, make sure that you guys are actually going out your way to go through that divorce properly. Go through it properly. Get it clear. Do whatever you got to do in the state of Florida. I don't know how they operate in other states. I'm not in other states. I'm in other states, but I don't do real estate in other states. But make sure you guys are actually going over what's what in your life. So, and essentially, make sure you have everything in order. Whether, credit, savings account, credit, debt, marriage, being legally married, and big thing as well is, when it comes to, obtaining a house and you are doing financing or things like that, be completely honest with your lender. Don't try to hide anything. Don't try to, let stuff go under the rug, because 9 times out of 10 the people are going to find out. Because when it comes to things like real estate, things like insurance, anything serious, even credit, or dealing with the IRS, these people are going to be heavily in your business. So if you're lying or you're not being truthful about certain things, it's going to come out, whether it's early on or later or after the fact. So make sure you guys have everything in order. That will make your life a lot easier, as well as mine. And then that would also help you in the long run, especially if you're just trying to make it in life, work real hard, start your family, get your family in the house or anything like that. That will make having your life in order, having your certain things in order and things like that will make your life a lot easier when it comes to starting real estate and things like that. Let's see what else I'm gonna touch on. Other than that, that is fine. Oh, big thing. Interest rates. Right now, interest rates are low, and that's partially due to COVID. So if you're getting in good, you're getting in good. But make sure you guys are actually, talking with your lenders. If you guys are, when it comes to being, financing and things like that, make sure you guys are actually talking to your lenders beforehand. So, once you, get that pre-approval letter, or even before you get pre-approved. Make sure you guys are telling your lender, and make sure you guys, even before you get to the lender, make sure you guys are taking it upon yourself to budget properly and be like, well, if I were to get a house for this much, or finance for this much, this is how much I can afford. So if I can afford to pay $1,200 a month, I already have that in your head, already have your budget planned out as that before you even get to the lender. That way, you know, when you get pre-approved, or when you get a certain interest rate, you're not just hit by surprise with like, whoa, I didn't see that coming, or I don't want to pay that, things like that. Make sure you guys are actually doing the proper research. You know, and one thing, you know, working with me, me and my team, the Dimps real estate team, we're definitely going to educate you when you're working with us, whether you're buying or selling property. We're definitely going to heavily educate you. But what will help you is educating yourself as well. That way you're not just thinking, you know, when you come working with us that hey, you're just a realtor trying to get paid. And while that may be true on to a certain extent, we also actually want to help people. We want to help people, you know, secure their families, secure their first home. If you're a big investor, you know, we want to help you secure that investment property, get the ball rolling and things like that. So, but definitely educating yourself. So before I end this, well, as I'm ending this, because I do have things to do, the biggest things that I'll say, and I want all of y'all to leave off with, is the biggest things y'all can do getting into this real estate market, or any real estate market, working with whoever, is to have your life affairs in order as far as credit, savings, debt, marriage, things like that, as well as educating yourself. So take the time out to properly educate yourself, and take the time out to also get your life together. Also, last thing, just because you're not ready right now does not mean you will not be ready in 6 months. Does not mean you will not be ready in 2 years. Does not mean you will not be ready in 10 years. Everybody's they're on their own walks of life, own path of life. So if you don't get pre-approved, or your credit's too low, or you got some debt that you need to get rid of, that's okay. It's perfectly fine. Just stick at it, you know, pay down that debt. Go ahead and get that divorce. Real estate is always going to be a house for you. Real estate is not going to go nowhere. You know, the market might slow down. It might go back to being a buyer's market or whatever. But real estate is not going to go anywhere. It's plenty for everybody. So, you know, take the time to get yourself. And then that's also like another thing when it comes to like investing in stocks, investing in crypto, investing in other businesses. These things are never going to go anywhere. So work at your own pace. You know, if you need to handle some things, need to get some things done, handle that. You know, if you in school, you got student loans that you need to pay off, handle that. Get it out of the way, no matter how long it takes. As long as you stay consistent, you'll get there. Other than that, y'all, that's been my TED Talk on real estate. More videos like this are coming soon. Hope you guys like it. Peace.